Yo, what's up everyone? After a couple of weeks of silence on the patch notes fronts, we are finally back with a new patch for the Cycle Frontier, patch 1.4, and let me tell you, we're serving them spicy today. So let's dive right in. Before we sink our teeth into these patch notes, can you guys help me out fixing this little stat right here? Because apparently only about 9% of you are subscribed to the channel. And now, don't get me wrong, I completely understand how you can forget to click the subscribe button because you're staring at my amazing beard, but you know what? Just focus. Click on that subscribe button down below. All right, moving on. Let's get into these patch notes. First off, we're getting free shit. Yay! Because of the server issues, we've been getting some compensation, which is about 150k K-marks, and most importantly, an advocate. There's a couple of other guns in there. There's a couple of blue armor pieces in there. Nothing too spectacular, but hey, everyone likes a free advocate and 150k K-marks, right? The fluidity of the heavy melee strike is a great improvement in my eyes, as it did tend to happen to me where I sometimes messed up the attack because the controls were feeling wonky and you accidentally do a light attack instead of saving up for a heavy attack, and then you missed your timing, and now all of a sudden 4 Striders are eating your face off, and you know, life is just bad on Fortuna. I'm personally very curious as to what the tweak to the loot tables for creatures means, and I wonder whether this is going to mean that we're going to see certain things drop more often, like for example, flesh for marauders, or like heavy striders, or mature rattler eyes and stuff like that. You know, those things that rarely drop from them. Another great win is that they finally reworked the icons for the different attachments on the guns, which finally makes them a lot more distinguishable from each other. So this is a big win in the quality of life department. Let's get into the juicy, spicy, meaty part of the patch notes, which we're gonna find in the balancing and economics part. Basically what they're doing is they're drastically lowering all of the costs for the endgame activities. All of the endgame activities have reduced costs when it comes to scripts. Some of them have reduced costs when it comes to materials, and I think this is a great thing because it's just going to make the end game more accessible to more different people, which I think is a great thing. Honestly, it's probably also going to take a little bit of the sting out of doing one of these end game activities and then getting shredded by cheaters. It's not going to take away the pain from that. It's not going to take away the annoyance from that, but still, it might fix it just a little bit, you know? Now the sad thing is that the rest of these patch notes don't really mention all too much about anti-cheat things or cheater compensation, so that's a little bit sad, but more on that later in the video. Hard jobs have also been buffed and are giving 50% more rewards, which I guess is nice, but I'm still not sure whether this is enough to carry the game after you complete your campaign missions. But at that point, it's the only thing that is going to give you any scripts at all, so, you know, it's better than nothing, and it's better than what we have right now, so, you know, good change. And then another huge thing, a really big change in my opinion, is that the repair costs for purple and pink armors are going down drastically. We're talking 60 to 70% here, which is honestly huge because even though I still think that the purple and the pink armor are not really that much worth it when you look at their crafting cost compared to like blue armor, because their efficiency isn't a lot higher. If you're curious about that, I made an entire video about that. The only thing that changed in that video from the perspective of that video is that right now the repair cost is going to be way more manageable and way nicer, which actually means that if you're capable of crafting some purple armor, you can at least take it out without feeling too bad when it gets shredded up and you need to repair it, and you don't have to go bankrupt for it anymore. So I guess that is nice, but efficiency wise, I think the blue armor is the top tier. I've been saying that they should have lowered the repair cost for this since the start of the season, and I'm actually quite happy to see them do it. Now, the only thing I'd love to see is them bumping up the armor values for it just a little bit more, making them a little bit more distinguishable from blue armor, and I think these armors are going to be in a golden spot. But that's probably, I can see that happen in like some future. And then now, the pièce de résistance. The whole shebang, and the thing that everyone has been waiting for, the grenade nerfs. They're finally here, and they're probably not the way that you expected them. They're not doing anything to the grenade itself, they're not doing anything to the blast radius, they're not changing the animation, they're not changing how quickly you can throw them, they're not changing how many of these you can carry, none of that. They're just going to make it more annoying to get them by making them only available through crafting and finding them in game. You can no longer buy any grenades whatsoever from any faction or any shop. You can only find them in game or craft them. And for the lovely cost of 2 hardened metal, 2 copper wire, 300 K marks, and 3 minutes of your time, you can craft the whole 2 grenades. Now, don't get me wrong, this is better than what it was before because the grenade meta was kind of ridiculous and not that fun at all. But honestly, I don't like this. This is, in my opinion, not a good nerf. And the reason I don't think this is a good nerf is because this is not nerfing the problem. This is just nerfing the quality of life surrounding the problem. They're just making getting grenades more tedious while the rewards for them just stay the same. I mean, I would much rather see a world in which getting grenades and being able to use them properly tactically because they add something to the depth of gunfights than to have to spend time standing around in my quarters and just crafting things because they take 3 minutes at a time or I need to skip them. And then, you know, it's just, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel nice. Now, my idea on balancing grenades would be something like link it to a quarters upgrade. Have everyone start out with a grenade pouch that holds up to 2 grenades, and then throughout progression, you can unlock a better grenade pouch, which will always allow you to carry 1 more grenade, up to like 5 or maybe 6 grenades at maximum. At like really high levels, at like quarter levels 10, you can unlock your 5th or your 6th grenade, something like that, and just leave it like that. That way you can leave them in the shop, make them easy to get, but there is just simply a maximum of grenades that a person can carry around. They can no longer be a walking artillery platform, and you still have the same option and the same tactical depth of using grenades as a means of, you know, getting somebody to move or finishing off a kill, stuff like that. The same tactical depth remains in the game, but not in the way that we've been seeing it now with walking artillery platforms. Now, what are your thoughts on grenades, guys? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And you know how we do this, we get a good discussion going in the comments down below. So let me know, talk to me. Other than that, these patch notes have a bunch of bug fixes, which is obviously freaking awesome, but more importantly, not really anything about cheaters or the cheater compensation system that everyone has been waiting on, which is obviously going to be a huge bummer for a lot of players. However, I did find a follow-up post from Toast, who is part of the anti-cheat team on Jaeger, who's basically saying that they did not get the patch notes about anti-cheat into the patch notes on time before they were released, but they're basically still working hard on it behind the screens. With this patch, some tweaks have been done behind the screens. The immediate impact of those will probably not be very high, but over time they will add up and they will increase the efficiency in which they can detect and auto-ban cheaters. On top of that, they hope that they would be able to get out the compensation system, but sadly, they did not get it done in time for the deadline. They're still looking to push it out as fast as possible. It's high on their priority list, guys. We just gotta wait it out a little bit longer. And for those of you who are not playing the game until some kind of compensation is in it, I pray and hope with you guys that it's going to be soon. Toast also ends the post saying that there will be a couple of blog posts on the official game's Reddit later in the week, hopefully detailing a little bit more about the anti-cheat steps that they're doing and the steps that they'll be taking towards the future. Now, to me, there is a couple of huge wins, huge W's in these patch notes, like for example, the armor buffs, the endgame crafting buffs, and to some extent the grenade nerf. I think the grenade situation is still going to be better than it was before. I just think this is not the best solution or the most elegant solution. It's just going to be more annoying to get them. While it is a little bit disappointing that there's no more news about anti-cheat and there's no compensation just yet, I still think that this is a huge patch and a step in the right direction for the game. So I'm just gonna keep playing and I'm just gonna keep enjoying myself, and I hope you guys do the same. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like on it, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.